how does a potential client know that you are great at what you do? Well, you can tell them. You can show them through your content or demonstrate it in some other fashion like that. Other people can tell them, or other people that they know can tell them. And it's really in that order, right? From the most powerful, the last ones there, to the least powerful, the first ones, right? You telling someone that you're great at what you do is not really that convincing or compelling. Demonstrating through content is certainly much better, but then having someone else share results or their experience of working with you is even more powerful than that. And then having someone that they know, right, talk about their experience working with you is definitely the best. So the question is, how do you go about getting more testimonials, more case studies, and is that something that you should be focused on? And so the answer to that is yes. As a consultant, getting testimonials and case studies and essentially documenting your work with clients is really powerful, because it allows you to start to sell, right, without selling. You're able to showcase the work that you've done with others and have them essentially help you to sell, right, without taking more of their time or without taking more of your time. And it's more powerful for the buyer because they don't feel like you have to try and convince them, right? They get to convince themselves. They get to arrive at the decision themselves, or at least the testimonial or the case study can help to influence their decision. Because when a buyer's deciding who to work with, they're kind of analyzing all the different potential risks in moving forward. And if you have testimonials, if you have case studies that truly demonstrate your track record, your expertise, your ability to deliver results, well, that makes it easier for them to decide. And that's helpful for them because they don't have to spend more time and more energy, trying to make decisions between different people. If you have a lot of proof, it stacks the kind of the deck in your favor, right? It provides you with the advantage. So with that being the case, how do you go about getting testimonials and creating case studies? Well, the first thing is do great work, right? If you do great work, you create results, and then you'll have lots of clients that are happy to talk about their experience with you, and they'll be happy to talk about it because you've delivered value to them, right? They're better off now than they were when they first came to you. The second thing is ask, right? It's as simple as asking your your existing clients or past clients for a testimonial, for documenting the experience of working with you and what it was like and what things were like for them before and during and the work, and then after, what kind of impact did it have on their business. So asking is really powerful, and unfortunately a lot of people don't do it because they think, oh, I don't want to be a bother to this client, I don't want to take their time and so forth. But people will be happy to help you because, again, you've helped them. And the next thing is make it easy for them. So if I say to someone, hey, Tom, you are a great client, can I have a testimonial? Tom might say yes, and if he really likes me, maybe he'll take the time to write something. But there's a few reasons why that's a bad idea. First of all, it requires more of Tom's time. He has to think about what to write. The second thing is that Tom now has to, because he's writing this or coming up with the testimonial and kind of comment and feedback, he might say things that aren't necessarily that helpful. As an example, a very general testimonial like, oh yeah, Michael did great work. That's not going to help the business at all. But if a client says, yeah, Michael did great work, we had this problem, he did this, we got this result, right? That would be much more compelling. So how do you make this easy for your client and get a better result? What you do is you write the testimonial or you write the feedback for them. And the key thing here is that you are not just writing it and then using it, because that would not be ethical and just would be wrong. What you're doing is you're giving them a little sample, a little template. You're saying, hey, Tom, I just wrote this up based on our work together and thought, some points like this might be helpful, but please feel free to edit it, to change it, completely use something different, whatever you want, but just thought this might kind of save some time and covers, it's like an overview of the work that we did together. And so when Tom gets that, or Jane, or whoever it is, right, when they get this, they're going to appreciate you because you've taken the time to make their lives easier. They're happy to help you, but you've now made helping you even easier. They get to just say yes. And a lot of your clients will say, yeah, actually what you have there is accurate. Go ahead, use it. It's great. Others will say, thanks so much. I've just changed it a little bit and feel free to use this, and they'll send it back. So that's how you go about doing this, right? You make it easy for your client. And some clients will do a great job themselves of writing something completely original, but it'll be exactly what you want. But in that case, make sure that you provide them with some guidance. Let them know that you want this to be as specific as possible, to cover a few things that you think were most meaningful and helpful and really demonstrate the value that you can add for others like them. And now when you've done that, right, you start to leverage your case studies. You start to leverage your testimonials. You put them on, whether it's LinkedIn or your website, you use them in different marketing materials and so forth. And that's what we've done, right? We've started to document. And in fact, now we have likely hundreds of testimonials and detailed case studies and video case studies, or video testimonials, I should say, right, with proof. Why? Because when a prospective client is, a consultant is thinking that they want to, grow their consulting business, and they find consulting success, what are they going to do? Well, what every person typically would do, which is to start consuming content and becoming comfortable and feeling, whether or not the message and what we put out resonates with them. But at some point, when they decide that they want to go deeper and get more detailed information and work with us maybe in a customized kind of fashion and get a plan and a strategy together through our coaching program or through one of our other programs, they're going to likely go and see, well, who else has gone through this? What kind of results have they had? What has their experience been? And if they go through it and they see testimonials and they may watch some videos or they listen to some things or they read through some stuff or they see a case study, it helps them to make a decision. Now, we know that we can never force someone to do anything. We would never want to, right? We just put the proof out there. We say, here's what we've done with many others, and you can see in these different situations. And if someone goes, yeah, I can see some of myself in this, then it's likely that we can also help that person. And so now we get to use that story to sell, right? And so that's much more powerful than us trying to convince or persuade someone or to say, yeah, we're great at what we do. Like, sure, we can say that, but we can say that because we have a lot of results. We have a lot of documented proof about the success that we've had with hundreds of consultants working personally in our coaching program and thousands of others that have gone through our training programs. But back to the question of, should you have testimonials? Should you create case studies? Yes, you definitely should. And follow those tips and kind of the steps that we just went through, and it'll make that process not only more efficient for you, but also much more effective and successful.